gang. This might be a little bit of a switch for everybody. And just a word of warning, if I seem a little out of it, it's not because I've been drinking or anything like that. It's just because I don't know how many of you have been foggy headed because of sinuses or whatever. But that's how I feel, just sort of spacey a little bit. So I, I'm going to try to hold it together. However, we'll probably go on for about an hour instead of the 2 or 3 hours that me and Candice usually go on with Friday Foolish. And I see Candice backstage, and I'm going to be adding her in just a sec. I'll give her a little more time to finish up her food, although I don't mind that she eats on camera because I eat and drink and do everything else on camera just about. So, anyways, uh, so Candace, and I don't think she'd mind me saying this, she just started a new job. So she's a little wiped out. I'm foggy headed. So we're gonna make a good combination for about an hour today. We may be a little loopy today, so just bear with us. Um, but I do want to apologize too for uh, not being on as much as I wanted to be. In fact, I was planning on doing something last night and I was just not feeling up to it. I was wiped out and like I told Candace, I think I've been flirting around with getting a cold. And I just was like, well, this was going to be a pre recorded thing anyway. So I'm not going to worry too much about it, but I'm going to try to get back on that horse in the coming week. And hopefully, I can get some rest this weekend and stuff like that. And I'll feel more up to doing things because I hate to miss doing, the streams and the pre-recorded stuff. Zoe, what are you doing? Y'all might have heard Zoe sound like she was groaning over there. She's kind of making not a mean growly sound, but a little growly sound over there in the corner. Zoe, let's not do that, okay? I know you're wagging your tail. But anyway, just wanted to apologize for not putting out as much content as I had wanted to this week. And I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Me and Candace having a Friday Foolish at 6 o'clock. If it works better, if we get more views or get more people in here when we're doing it, we might think about switching things up, but that'll be a discussion that I guess me and Candace will have after this one is over. So I'm going to go ahead and add Candace here. Hey, Candace.
Hey, you caught me with my mouth full.
Neither one of us has our Friday Foolish shirts on.
No, I didn't even have time to hardly change into something more comfortable.
I had my pink Scooby Doo shirt. The pink theme goes along with Friday.
I just have a Grateful Dead shirt on. Can you hear me good?
That shirt. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love the Grateful Dead. Hopefully everybody can hear me good.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anybody chatting as of yet. It might have threw people off a little bit because I didn't change the time until this morning because I turned my computer off early last night, or early for me. And then I thought, oh crap, I didn't change the time for it. And I thought, I'll do it tomorrow. But that may come back to bite me or something if I, we may not have. We've got 3 people in here, maybe 2, if you count Candace. but that's that's plenty for us to talk. Nobody says that you have to get in there and you have to chat. So Candace, in order for you to have a little more time to finish your food without having to talk while you're eating. Um, I thought I could go ahead and start talking about one or two of these, and
Okay.
you can comment as you want to. And um, so, um, one of the ones that I didn't get to, because I actually had a list and I was making a list as we were going through things the last time we did this. And one of them I don't think I talked about was The Beast Within.
Mm.
And there's my dear husband in here. Hi, hon. Steve usually, even though he's at work, I hope he don't get in trouble. He tries to come into these Friday Foolish shows to support me and Candice when we're on here doing this, and Chris does the same when he can come on too, or come in the chat or whatever. I didn't. Candace, I forgot to send Chris the link. Do you think he would
Oh,
want to hop on?
he may.
Okay, I'm gonna send. I'm gonna take a second and send him.
Because he's off work now.
And I don't want to leave Chris out. I've just been so flustered today.
I
That,
hate to eat on here, Dana. I hope you can't hear me crunching.
nope, I don't hear you crunching at all. Let's see. Let me find Chris here. There he is. Okay. Y'all just don't mind me. I'm gonna send him this invite. I'm sure Chris isn't crying in the corner or anything.
What if he was, Dana? He just crying in the corner saying, Dana don't love me. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
I don't ever want to leave Chris out because Chris is, and me and Candace have talked about this many times before, that Chris is very knowledgeable about, not only horror but other topics too. We were, talking about how much he knows about wrestling, or wrestling,
Yeah,
as
right.
some people say. uh, that's, I guess, a slang term for wrestling. Wrestling, that's the southern version of
Yeah,
wrestling.
that's the
Uh,
hillbilly way.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I actually like hearing somebody say wrestling rather than wrestling. Um, Steve, hon, I'm not sure what that look. It looks like a red baby face or something. I can't figure out what that one is. Oh, but anyway, maybe he'll tell me what that is. But now that I sent Chris the link, and we have 4 or 5 people in here now, um, I'll get back to Beast Within makeup. And this is kind of timely because I saw that Horror Hound has added Paul Clemens, who played in The Beast Within. I got all excited when I saw that recently.
I've never seen it, Dana.
You've never seen The Beast Within? Oh, wow.
No,
Chris may have that. You should ask him, do you
I
have The
will.
Beast Within? Because I know Chris has got a lot of movies, and he inherited James's collection, so it
Yeah,
could have may very well been in James's collection too.
I'm sure he's seen it. I've heard of it, but
Mm.
I've just never seen it.
Now, Joe Bob, the first Joe Bob I ever saw, this is another connection with The Beast Within for me. The first Joe Bob Monster Vision I ever saw, and I'll tell a little backstory on this. I was actually um, channel surfing one night, and I was still living with my mom and dad at this time, and a little thing about me. I tried out college for a little bit, going away to college, and it
No
wasn't
work.
for me. I'm too big of a weenie, I guess, to.
I'm the same.
I went to Murray State, where my cousin Heather was going at the time, and first of all, people told me don't, and I love my cousin Heather, I do, but people told me never room with a relative.
Mm.
And I did. Because I thought, well, Heather, I know, I love Heather. It'll be fine. Well, it was fine for at first, but then it got where it was and again, I loved going to spend the night with her. I used to spend a week with her every summer, and she would come and spend a week with me at my house sometimes. But inevitably, we would get on each other's nerves by the
Oh,
end of the
yeah.
week, and we would be fighting and arguing over something. And Zoe, Zoe's just over here whining. So
Miko is too. I don't know if you can hear him, but he is.
I can't hear Miko, but y'all might be able to hear Zoe. I think she's wanting Brink to get out of the dog bed that's back here. But so anyway, it was kind of a repeat of like when we were kids, and we would be okay for a while, and then she'd get where she would not want to turn on the air conditioner
Oh,
and
no.
stuff like that. And you're talking about the heat of the summer in far western Kentucky. I mean, it was hot.
Oh, my gosh. I couldn't stand
And I would walk over and I would turn on the air. This is some of the same arguments me and Steve have about the air conditioner.
that.
I would walk over and I would turn on the air. And a little bit after that, she would come in from a class or something, and she'd go and switch it off. I'm freezing. And I'd be like, Heather, you're just like your mom. My Aunt Pam it has been low on iron for a long
Mm-hmm.
time, and she gets cold real easy. And I guess Heather was like that too. And so it would be that, that whole thing like in Poltergeist where they're on the same channel or something with their remote controls, and the neighbors' kids want to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood,
Yeah.
and Mr. Freeling and his buddies are watching a football game, and some of them have money bet on the football game, and it keeps going back and forth. So that's what me and Heather were like. She'd switch it off, I'd wait a little bit, switch it on. She'd go over there after a while and switch it off, and then we'd start sniping at each other because it's
Mm.
like, I want it on. I'm burning up. I'm sweating. Oh, I'm freezing to death. So, there were just different things like that. Or this was an all girls dorm. And so the girls would get together and want to get together in somebody's room and order pizza, have pizza delivered, and just watch TV or watch movies. And Heather was kind of odd about that. She would be like, I don't want all these people coming in here. I'm like, Heather, they're just wanting to come in, hang out. I don't care. I don't want them. And I said, well, all right, you deal with it. But some of them ended up coming over. And like, I had a good time. It was just like a bunch of girls hanging out at a slumber party or something
Yeah.
like that. And she also had a pet rat that she was not supposed to have in the dorm.
Uh-oh.
You were only supposed to have fish. Fish was the only types of pets that you could have in the dorm.
Really?
At that particular dorm, or maybe it was just all of Murray State, was like that.
Huh.
And so Heather brought her rat, and the closet had the little slats in it. There was airflow in there. It wasn't just like you shut something up in there and it couldn't breathe. So she brought her rat and she named it Fish. So if you were talking about the rat and like what did they call those people? I guess they were like they were RAs or RMs or something like that, but they were the ones that took inspection of the rooms periodically and stuff like that. And sometimes we'd have Fish out and he'd be sitting on our shoulders or something, and Heather would be like, the RM's coming, put Fish up and close the closet door. So we always had to do that, and it was just anytime they were coming around to do an inspection or just to peek in, you girls doing all right, and all that stuff. So, well, not exactly Bill Murray State, Steve, but but anyway, um, to get back to um, the story in hand, I was home on a break from Murray State when I first discovered Joe Bob because I didn't know about him. I didn't know about drive-in theater on the movie channel or anything like that. Steve did, but I did. So I was channel surfing one night at my parents' house, and I was just turning through things and came across TNT, and there was this guy with a cowboy hat and stuff sitting there talking about horror movies. And I was like, okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to listen to this guy.
Oh, this is right up my alley.
Yeah, that's exactly what. And I was like, this guy's entertaining, you know. And I started watching him from then on out. But the very first time I watched him, he was showing The Beast Within.
Wow.
And he was telling a funny story about, somebody that when they walked, their arms swung one way and all this stuff. Because Joe Bob would always tell stories uh, before he would do the movie, and he still does that. He still does that on The Last Drive-In on Shutter as well. But so I think I may have rented Beast Within before seeing it on Joe Bob. And that's probably another reason that I stopped and I was like, oh, he's showing The Beast Within. I'm going to, watch this. And of course, TNT would cut out some of the makeup effects and stuff, and some of the carnage, but it still gave me just enough that I enjoyed it. So um, The Beast Within is the story of a 17-year-old boy who, 17 years ago, his mother was raped by what can be best described as a giant cicada or a cicada monster.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've never seen it, but
Never.
I've heard Chris talk about it.
Okay. So at least Candice is a little bit familiar with it.
Yeah.
So what happens every 17 years, guys and gals?
Cicadas come out.
The cicadas come. So Michael, Paul Clemens' character in Beast Within, is the 17-year-old boy, and his mother was attacked by this cicada monster. And then 17 years later, the son has grown up and some changes are happening to him, but they're not the normal puberty things or anything like that. He's actually becoming a cicada. And so when we get to the end, I mean, there's other things, he attacks people and he only attacks people named Kerwin. And Joe Bob said this. And the reason why he only attacks people with the last name Kerwin is because they were the ones responsible for his real daddy being chained up in a basement and left there. And I guess that's what caused his real daddy to become what he was. I don't ask me how, horror movie logic, but um so um every time Michael hears the cicadas, because the cicadas are coming out and he's changing into one, he'll shake his head and he acts like it's, hurting him, giving him, a headache or something. So he falls in love with this one girl, Amanda, but she is the daughter of one of the Kerwins. So when the cicada part of him starts taking over more and more, he he feels the urge to attack and kill her. Now, I don't know what's going on out there, but feels the urge to attack and kill her, but he doesn't want to because he loves her. And there's one scene where he's telling her, you got, because he's feeling this coming on him again. And he says, you got to get out of here, Amanda. Go, leave. And she says, well, I got to change my clothes and I got to do, how women do sometimes in these movies. They just waste way too much time. And she's upstairs and she's changing her clothes and stuff like that. And he's getting more and more where he's going to change and says, Amanda, I told you to go, and he's just getting more and more aggressive and stuff. But the final scenes is when everything really goes crazy. So he's back in the hospital. His mother is there. The doctor is there. And he starts convulsing. And he's telling them, kill me. There's a whole scene. It's kind of sad because he's in the throes of this transformation and there's nothing he can do about it. And he doesn't want to kill anybody else, so he's telling them to kill me. But he's convulsing as he's doing this, and they're like sticking the thing in his that looks like a tongue depressor in his mouth so he won't bite his tongue and things like that. And he's just writhing up off the bed and stuff like that. And then his whole head, I guess they did this with bladders and stuff, it just sort of spreads out. And his eyes sort of spread out and his mouth goes all funky. And to tell you the honest truth, once he transforms, it doesn't really look like a cicada, or not what we know of cicadas, but he doesn't look too good. But I always thought that transformation scene was one of my top transformation scenes ever. Um, not above American Werewolf in London, but it's a pretty dang good transformation scene.
I'll have to watch it. I mean, it's always sounded interesting to me. It's one of those wilder plots.
Yeah, exactly. And it is based on a book, and I have read the book, but it's been years. The movie follows the book fairly well. And the book's called The Beast Within. I'm trying to remember the author. Shoot, because there's probably other books called The Beast Within too. I'll have to get back to y'all on that if y'all want to know who the author is. But that was always one of my favorite makeups / transformation scenes in a film. And young people now will probably say, but that's just cheesy. I don't like that. But I'm old school that way. This was early 80s. And I just thought it was fantastic, for the time period. But since Candice hasn't seen it, and she probably has not seen that transformation scene, but I would love to hear her thoughts on it, after she does see the film. But Candice, do you want to talk about one of yours?
Well, as far as makeup goes, it's not a mask or anything else, but as far as makeup goes, and this is going to surprise you, Dana.
Okay.
That I'm even speaking of this.
It might be one I have on my list.
But I have to bring it up because even though it terrifies me to even think about it, I have to bring it up because it does scare me so much. Mm-hmm. It does over any other makeup, anything like that. To this day, I can't look at it. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about the movie. I don't want to think anything about anything to do with it. Not even the actors that were in it. it just scares me. I can't help it. And that is Reagan from The Exorcist.
That I had that one on my list.
To this day, I cannot anything to do with The Exorcist. I don't want to see. Now, I have watched The Exorcist. I can't believe I did. I was probably probably late teens, maybe, and it came
Mhm.
on TV. And I
Uh-huh.
remember it was real late at night, and I said, I am going to make myself watch this. And I watched the TV version, and I remember making myself sit down in the floor and up to my TV, and I made myself sit there and watch it. And, even though I've not seen the, not made for TV version,
Mhm.
I have seen the TV version, and that's as far as I want to go. I don't want to have to revisit it or anything like that, because the movie scared me to death. Not because I seen the movie, but because I seen it on other things. Like, I remember probably the first time I know it was the first time I ever seen her, Reagan, was on one of my favorite movies of all time. And to this day, whenever it plays that scene, I have to turn my head.
Uh-huh.
I have to close my ears. I can't, and that's The Burbs.
Yep,
It plays a
exactly.
clip where um where it shows the scene where she's laying in the bed and the priest is talking to her, and she spits the pea soup or whatever you want to call it all
Right.
over him. And I remember I would be so terrified watching that. But then as I was a little bit older, probably, Lord, probably around 9 or 10 years old, maybe. My brother was just a little kid, a little baby at the time. And we had floor model TV, and I've told this before, but just in case you've never heard it, I'll give you the shortened version of it. We had a VHS tape, and I can't remember what the VHS tape was, but it had a Universal Studios, or just a Universal
Mm.
um, commercial before the movie. And I remember the first time I ever put it in, I stuck the tape in, and we had the floor model TV, and I would always sit in front of my TV. A lot of kids, did that. Just like Carol Ann from,
Yeah.
Poltergeist. I would sit right in front of it.
I think
And
Steve did that too, but I think it's because Steve couldn't see well.
really, I just love sitting in front of the TV because it made you feel like you was like inside of it and stuff. I
Yeah.
also like how the static made me feel.
Mm.
Um, but I stuck this tape in, and I had watched the tape before, but my dad had already got it started, and we watched whatever movie. It seems like it was a vacation movie with Chevy Chase. It was one of the vacation movies,
Mhm.
um, and I was sitting there by myself. I stuck this tape in. I wanted to watch it, and nobody was in the room with me or anything. And I was just sitting there watching this. Oh, Universal! I'd always loved seeing all the Universal movies, and I always wanted to go to Universal Studios. So I was like focused in on seeing all these different fast clips, of all this different stuff that it was showing. And then just all of a sudden, whenever I was real close to the screen, there it showed her, and it was that classic, um, like picture of her where she's like looking like this right up to, and she's
Oh,
real, really
yeah,
sad
that
looking.
yeah.
And I've said this before because I've felt this way several times in my life, especially as a kid, where if my hair didn't turn white, I don't know how it didn't. Because it was like that shock that you get, like this like frightening shock. I was scared to death about knock my mom's like stuff over off of her coffee table, and I was screaming and crying. My mom came rushing in. She's like, "What is it? What is it?" She thought I'd killed myself. And I told her what it was. She said, "Candace, why are you acting like that?" Because she thought I'd killed myself. And I said, "I'm not watching that no more. I don't want to watch that." So what we did, and my dad, I don't even know if he knew I did it, is I knew how to record over store bought VHSs. These aren't like
Mhm.
recordable ones. You would take a little piece of like a paper
Yeah.
towel, and you would stick it down in this hole because I would do it with cassette tapes as well.
I would take like a clear tape
You
and
could
put
do that,
over
yeah.
it.
But
Mhm.
I stuffed some paper towel down in it, and I recorded over that little spot that it showed that because I said, I'm not watching that no more.
Right.
And I don't think my dad ever noticed it, which, he being the way he was, he wouldn't wanted to see that part anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so props to Linda Blair for playing, to me, the scariest makeup out there, the scariest like horror character there is, because it terrifies me.
Right.
Um, because I have beliefs. If you don't have beliefs and believe in things like that, that's fine. If you don't believe in that kind of thing, the subject matter is about, that's fine. But I do, and I don't like, it's too real for me,
Right.
and I don't like playing around with that kind of stuff. So I think that's why it terrifies me so much. But out of all of possession movies and stuff, I think Reagan is number one. Even
Yeah, I would have, because I've
yeah,
seen several movies about possession of
mhm,
in one form or another. Not all the time demon possession. Sometimes it's other types of possession. For instance, The Conjuring.
yeah,
If you watch the Conjuring movie, the mother is
yeah,
supposed to be, her body is supposed to be inhabited by some sort of entity, and it's never said that it's a demonic entity.
yeah,
But with Reagan, and I hope this doesn't freak Candace out. There is one scene. It's the same scene where she pukes on the priest.
yeah,
Um, where Father Karras says, "I think we should introduce ourselves," and he says, "I'm Damien Karras," and she says in that demon voice, "And I'm the devil."
yeah.
And I'm not gonna do it like her because that really
No,
would freak
mhm.
Candace out.
I don't even like talking about the subject matter, but to be fair, I've my blood pressure is up. I'll be honest with you, but to be fair, I know that I have, because it's the truth. It's not my favorite.
Right.
It's the scariest to
I'll
me.
tell you something that, and Candace is gonna go la 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 la. I don't want to hear this anymore. But I tell you, the makeup is incredible.
Yeah,
Dick Smith's makeup effects, absolutely top notch effects, and I want to say I give props to him, as well as Linda Blair, and all the other people that worked on the film, including William Friedkin, as well, his expert direction with that. But I'll tell you the part that weirded me out, freaked me out more than the the demon makeup, I guess you would call it, is the scene before she is full on, completely possessed, and that there's no more Reagan, is when the psychiatrist comes and he hypnotizes her, and he's talking to Reagan, and he's and then he says, he wants to talk to Captain Howdy, which is what Reagan referred to the demonic entity as Captain Howdy. And he says, can I speak to the person inside of Reagan now? And you were hypnotized too, so answer me now. And the look that Reagan gives him, the face just seems to change before your eyes. And she looks full on evil. And she grabs that guy by the balls and lifts him up and is on top of him in a second, just about to kill him. Um, but that is, to me, that's even creepier than the makeup stuff.
mhm.
Once her face is just completely covered in the makeup. Um, and it just, I don't know how in the world they did that,
Mm.
because the visual effects weren't even that sophisticated back in the 70s when they
Well, that's why I don't mess around with it, Dana, because it feels too real to me.
feels too real. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. don't. I stay away from it.
But I could go on for hours about that movie, but I won't for Candice's sake. But I just wanted to bring up a couple of things, and now I'll stop talking about it. But Batman, thank you for saying the author's name of The Beast Within, Edward Levy. I can usually count on Batman to Batman and TJ. They usually either they know it off the top of their head or they look it up. And I was too lazy to look it up today. So thank you, Batman. I appreciate that. So yeah, I agree on all kinds of levels with Candice on that movie, but I'm not going to keep talking about it because she may just say, I have to bow out of this.
You,
Don't
Dana.
talk about that too much.
No, I know that you really like that movie. That's okay. It's just too much for me. I just can't. I mean,
And
it's
it's
not
too
a
much
movie
for
to
a
me.
lot of people.
That's whenever it crosses the line where this doesn't feel like a movie to me. It feels like more than that, and I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a movie that feels like that, but for me, it's like this is crossing the line. I can't do it. But I know a lot of people really love the movie. Now, my brother talked me, I didn't know that it was this movie, but he tricked me into watching, I think it's the third one. And I didn't realize it was, but I like that one. Is it the one with
George C. Scott's in it, and Brad Dourif's in it, and Brad Dourif is
scary.
excellent.
Yeah, he is. He really is, Dana. I agree with that.
Really good.
Which I love Brad Dourif. I think Brad Dourif is a excellent actor. Even the X-Files episode that it was Beyond the Sea, I think it's entitled, one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I think it is Chris's favorite episode. He does phenomenal. I love Brad Dourif. A lot of people just know him for, the Chucky films, but he has done a lot outside of the Chucky films.
He was incredible in the Jim Jones movie.
I've seen it.
What was that one called? Because there were several made. This one was like a mini series level.
It's not like called like Beyond Jonestown or something like that, is it?
No, it's.
I can look it up if you want me to.
Yeah, because what's his face? Shoot, my brain is just completely leaving me. I was trying to think of the guy that played Jim Jones in
The
that.
Story of Jim Jones. Is that what it's called?
It might be. That might be it.
Yeah, it's The Story of Jim Jones, and he plays a character named David Langtry.
Yeah, and what his character was, I think he was a drug addict, and he, Jim Jones kind of took him under his wing, but it was insinuated in the movie that Jim Jones molested him.
Ooh.
And further took control of him by doing that. And I'm trying to remember if that was like a composite character, because sometimes when they do these true stories, they will combine people into one character just to kind of condense things, or if he was
actually like that.
David was an actual character or an actual person that but in the movie the very disturbing scene of them drinking the Kool-Aid, the cyanide laced Kool-Aid, the character of David was seen mixing it up, and he became a doctor. A doctor is what he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so Jim Jones was kind of like, brainwashing him, but at the same time telling him what he wanted to hear and telling him, you can be a doctor, David. Come be a doctor here at Jonestown, And so that is, you want to talk about disturbing scenes. And I wish too that I had heard some audio that is supposed to be,
Me
and
too.
it sounds like Jim
Mhm.
Jones, so I'm pretty sure it is. When that was going on,
Yeah.
and he's telling people, please don't panic.
Yeah.
There, you could hear children
Yeah.
crying and
I've
screaming
heard
in the
that.
background, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Really
I
hard to
wish
listen to.
it's
Me
horrific.
too. That movie is actually called Guyana Tragedy: The Story of Jim
Finance
Jones, and it stars
tragedy.
Paris Booth as Jim Jones. It also has Ned Beatty, LeVar Burton, Colleen Dewhurst, James Earl Jones, and Randy Quaid in it.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, there's
uh,
a lot. I think Meg Foster is in it too.
she is.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of famous people in that.
Veronica Cartwright, she is.
Mhm.
It's all
Yeah.
kinds of people in it.
It's a very good movie, but you watch it when you're really happy, or you'll be like, don't watch it when you're
Oh,
depressed. 'Cause, it's not one of those. It's not a feel good movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's a
yeah.
well made movie. Just
It's a
not.
miniseries, it says. It's even got Ed Lauder in it, and he played in with um John Candy, Uncle Buck. He played Uncle Buck. So yeah, I'd like to maybe I'm interested in stuff like that. I've never seen this one, but that that's such a terrible tragedy too.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so, I like
Uh,
Paris Booth though.
Paris Booth is a really, really good actor.
Yeah,
Uh, really good. I think Powers Booth. I'm pretty sure he was in that Frailty movie, which Frailty is it's a fantastic movie, but it deals with a lot of heavy subject matter and a lot of religious heavy subject matter.
yeah.
So it might not be some people's cup of tea. But Powers Booth was in that, and Matthew McConaughey was in that movie too, and Bill Paxton, God rest his soul,
Yeah.
was also in it. That guy left us
Oh,
way.
that was a shock.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton. They filmed uh my goodness, my mind's just going. They filmed he and Patrick Swayze and oh dang, I can't think of nobody's name. What's his name? Leslie uh, what's it called? They filmed it in Hazard, where I'm from. Can't think of anything.
Oh, crud.
They filmed it right here in Hazard. It's Liam Neeson. Gosh, I can't think of nothing right now. Liam Neeson, Bill Paxton, and Patrick Swayze next to Ken. There we go. Next
Oh,
to
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I did not know that they filmed that in
They sure
Hazard.
did, they do. Right
That's
down the
amazing.
road at the little there used to be a place called Francis's Diner.
Mhm.
They actually moved not long ago. They'd been there for years and years and years. Um, they actually had the pictures of them eating there at the diner and stuff. It was
Wow.
filmed at a place called Memorial Gym in town. Um, and a lot of people that I know have pictures with them and stuff like that. So they were
That's
all around
awesome.
town and stuff. Another movie with Steven Seagal, which that's not saying much. Uh, called Fire Down Below was also filmed here in Hazard as well. And there was actually another movie, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's actually a lost film.
Mhm.
Yeah. It wasn't Francis's Diner, it was Circle T. Are you sure? Yeah. Oh, well, he says it was Circle T. I thought it was Francis's Diner. Circle T is actually still where it's at,
Uh,
and it's right down the road too. But there was actually another movie filmed here in Hazard, but it's considered a lost film.
mhm.
Um, but it stars Rue McClanahan from
Oh.
the Golden Girls,
Uh-huh.
and it was some kind of racing film. But the director lost the rights to the film, and it became like entangled in a bunch of people, and then it eventually just was lost. So it
Mhm.
was some kind of movie that never seen the light of day.
Wow.
But there's like pictures of Rue McClanahan here in Hazard and stuff. So I'm like, that's so weird. How do you lose your film like that? I mean,
I
it's not
know.
even after midnight, so I mean,
I know that Evansville, Indiana, their big claim to fame was, of course, A League of Their Own.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Tom Hanks and
Mhm.
Madonna and uh,
Gina Davis,
Gina Davis, just,
Rosie
you know,
O'Donnell, wasn't she in
yeah,
that?
yeah, I'm
I
pretty
like to leave
sure.
there on, I always did.
But people flocked to Evansville because they wanted to be in A League of Their Own. I would have probably just wanted to go so I could see Tom Hanks. I
Oh,
mean,
yes. Yeah.
but I don't know why. I guess probably mom and dad weren't interested. Dad liked A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
He really liked the movie,
Oh, I
but
do too.
they never was interested in like caring about movie stars or anything
Yeah.
like
Some
that.
people
I'm
just
more.
aren't interested, you know, some people just not interested in that kind of thing.
But I think about that now, and I'm thinking Tom Hanks was so close, man. If I if I had just thought, maybe I could have pushed my parents into. I want to go to Evansville and see Tom Hanks. I don't care if I get to be in the movie. I want to see Tom Hanks
That was made around, like, what, 93, 4, something
somewhere
like that?
around there. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe even sooner than that, maybe
In the
92.
early 90s, I know. Um, but you never know what me and Candace are going to start
We
talking about.
always get off subject, and it's
That's
probably usually
okay.
my fault.
Um, so, Candace, did you want to talk about? Um, did you want to expand on anything or talk about another one before I start blabbing in?
I mean, just to mention, I really love the killer clowns from outer space. I love all the costumes and the makeup and all that, the masks and stuff like that. Cheeto Brothers,
Yeah.
it's my son really, like, his newfound love for that film really made me rekindle my love for it.
Hmm.
And and I just remember, like, meeting them and just seeing, like, all the cool masks and stuff, like, in person and stuff. That stuff is so cool. I mean, it really is. The
It's
film is really cool.
unique.
It is. And I mean, if you would expect clowns to come down from outer space, I mean, they kind of fit the bill. I really just, I love each unique character in Killer Clowns. So I really think that we should mention that because I really love the everything about it. And if you've never seen Killer Clowns, go give it a watch. It's
Oh
a
yeah.
classic comedy, black comedy or horror comedy, whatever you want to call it. But
In fact,
um,
I'll be right back, Candace. You continue.
but Killer Clowns, yeah, definitely. Like my son's room, I have uh what's his name, Shorty, right here next to me, big animatronic and the popcorn gun, and got a rug down below. My son he watched it one day and just fell in love with it. It was like one of the greatest things he'd ever seen. He's like, he just loved, because my son really loves, like, costume design and stuff. And he actually studied costume design in school. And he would talk about how cool the special effects and the masks and the costumes and just the unique, like, ways that they do stuff to people, like the pies and the popcorn, the cotton candy, wrapping people up in cotton candy and stuff like that. So it's a unique film. It's fun for everybody though, even people who's not really into horror. My mom's not a horror person, but even she can watch Carol Clowns and kind of laugh, and get into it. So definitely, I thought we should mention it.
But while Candace, when she brought that up, I actually didn't have that on my list. But for those of you that haven't seen my
Yes.
soup mug, I do have a Killer Clown soup mug.
Hmm.
Sorry for the glare on there. And I love it. It's blue and then it's got the cool clown on there. But I just got this in. And
Oh,
this is the steel book. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but it is the 4K
I need to get that for
of
Noah.
Killer Clowns.
He
This
would
was a
love that.
good price on this too, Candace. I was shocked.
Really? I
Yeah.
really love the artwork on that. Anything that's got new artwork.
There's the back
Yes.
of it
Yeah.
too.
Mhm. I'm gonna be honest with you, Dana. I would love to turn my front porch for Halloween into like killer clown, like tent
Mm.
and stuff. I think that would be awesome because you can get the props. We already have Shorty.
Yeah.
What's the other one that they make? They make another one. Forget which one it was that they made. But anyway, I think it would be cool. But our neighbors would probably be like, "What's going on over here?"
You could have some cotton candy and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
Candace. It'd be
give away
fun.
cotton candy, but we don't get any trick or treaters, so
Oh, dang.
yeah,
We get trick or treaters, and I just absolutely. If there's one thing I love about Louisville, it's the fact that there's lots of little kids running
yeah,
around on
yeah,
Halloween. And did I ever tell y'all about the times? If Steve's in here, he's probably still in here. He's probably going to say, "Please don't tell that story." But one year, like I think Steve had been drinking a little bit. This was back when he drank, and he what was he dressed up like? I guess he was supposed to be like a zombie or
yeah.
something. I put his makeup on, and he had black around his eyes and green grease paint makeup. And for some reason, he had put a pillow on his back, and so he looked like a hunchback. And he was all, like this. And some young girl, not a itty bitty kid, but a little bit older. And
Yeah.
it wasn't like they were 3 years old or anything. But she came up to the door to get candy, and Steve comes running out the door like this. Ah! And he chased that little girl all the way to her parents' vehicle. And I thought, oh God, Steve, you're going to make somebody
Oh,
mad. But the
it
parents were laughing their butts off. They just thought it was the funniest thing ever. That girl hopped up in the van and like
did she get her candy?
I think she got her candy, but then just after that, Steve just come out there. I think she may have dropped her candy on the way to
Oh
her
my goodness.
vehicle. It's like Steve said, I would have never done that if I hadn't been drinking, but he just,
That's
I
so
don't know,
funny
it
though.
just occurred to him. Uh, Chris says my keyboard for chat works now. LOL, and he
He's
says,
been having trouble with his chat. Yeah.
"Oh wow!" He says Slim was the other
Yeah,
animatronic they made.
Slim, yeah. He's really big though. I just don't know where we would put him like after, because I don't like stick him in storage or anything like that. So I'd want to display him somewhere, but um I don't know where we'd put him. I think they have new animatronics. I know this is way off, key and stuff. But they have
We're
new
getting the
animatronics.
fall. We can talk
Well,
about
I'm
it.
getting really excited, Dana, because they got new animatronics. I don't know if you've ever watched The Corpse Bride. Um,
I haven't. I
but
know what it is, but I
but
haven't.
they have new Corpse Bride animatronics at Spirit, and I want them so bad. They're like $2.99 a piece. I don't think Chris will let me have them, but they're so
Come on,
awesome.
Chris. Like Candace.
I would love to have them. I
Oh,
would. I would love to have them.
he says I'm not buying another animatronic. LOL.
Whatever. Well, we have to get Noah's big Slimer. It's not an animatronic, but it glows.
Yeah,
Um,
that
that's
thing
gonna be
you were
cool.
telling me about. That thing sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's gonna like it. We're gonna right here see this flag. Want to take that down and put it up there. It looks like it's coming through the wall.
I got it. You got to do some video or something.
Oh,
Send
I
it
will. He's
to
gonna
me.
love it. He's gonna absolutely love it. I know he will. He loves Ghostbusters. So,
I
um,
probably shouldn't say this, but since we're talking about Ghostbusters for a second, if Steve's in here, he'll kill me dead when he gets home. He'll be like, "How much did that cost?" You know. But I don't know how many of you guys and gals in here are familiar with like the different VR headsets that are out there. Because Steve's going to
yeah,
say, "You have two headsets already." But the MetaQuest 3 just came out not very long ago. And I broke down and I ordered me one. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. So if Steve doesn't know about it now, he'll know about it tomorrow.
Oh,
And if y'all don't see me for a while, it means Steve killed me because I got this. But this stuff looks amazing. Candace, have you seen anything about these MetaQuest VR headsets? They call them mixed, I think mixed reality. And there is a Ghostbusters game where it looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man
yeah.
is floating, and you shoot it with
Really?
the guns or
Is it for
something.
MetaQuest?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Noah has, and Raiden, they both have MetaQuests.
Oh, they
Um,
okay.
yeah,
I,
they have them. Yeah, I get motion sickness. I can't get on there
you
and
can't do, but this one, you might want to check and see if it's for all the MetaQuest. What version do they have?
Raiden has a 3, Noah has a 2, but we're getting ready to get Noah a new one because his is starting to get old. So probably
Oh
for
yeah,
Christmas,
Chris says.
probably
Yeah, Chris says
probably for
Noah's
Christmas
is
we'll
a
get a new one.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a 2. So we'll probably get him a new one for maybe Christmas or so, or his birthday. It's right around the same time.
But
So,
I'm really excited about it. I'm probably going to have to sell one of my old ones off because
so you've not had a MetaQuest before?
I've had the Oculus, which I think the Oculus
Mm.
was the kind of like the precursor to these
The
MetaQuests.
MetaQuest is awesome. If you can do those and don't get sick, they're
I think
awesome.
I should be okay because the only time I ever got kind of queasy feeling was I was using one of those like really cheap versions of it
Yeah.
before I got my Oculus. And there was a zombie game where the zombies come
Yeah.
around you from all sides, and I was spinning around on the floor trying to shoot the zombies, and I got a
Got
little
motion sickness.
queasy feeling. But as long as I don't do that, sometimes I have to actually sit down on a
Yeah.
couch or in a chair or something like that. Some people can jump around and stuff, but I'll kill myself.
Noah and Raiden and Henley can. They
Oh,
because they're on it every night. They're on theirs every night. And I get extreme. I mean, just get on there just for a minute and I'm extreme motion sickness. I was the kid in the car that always got sick.
my
But see,
brother's like
Raiden,
that.
well, Raiden is, but
Yeah,
he can get on this
he can do that.
this Meta Quest and it doesn't make him sick. I don't understand it. I'm like, you get sick in car rides, but you
So
know.
does Chris ever play them, or with his epilepsy, is he
No,
not able to do that?
no,
Or
he can do anything like that. Stuff, lights and stuff like that. It's stress that causes his, like stress or,
okay.
um, like not having sleep or something stressful going on. That's what causes his,
That's not good. It's not good
Oh,
for somebody to have seizures in any case. But at least Chris can enjoy stuff like that, or
oh
doesn't have
yeah,
to worry
yeah.
about movies that have
No,
flashing lights.
he goes to all these concerts and watches all this flashing light stuff, and it doesn't bother him. So thank goodness.
Right. Because that to me seems like it would make life even harder with epilepsy.
Yes, it would. But Dana, have you seen the popcorn buckets and stuff for Beetlejuice?
I have not.
Mm,
Are they
yeah,
amazing, Candace?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They have like the Here Lies Beetlejuice, like tombstone.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have that, and I seen one like with I think this is from Regal. It had like the sandworms and stuff. They look awesome.
Holy
I
crap.
have to go somewhere like a big one and watch Beetlejuice. I have to. I've
Well,
gotta go.
you're welcome to come to Louisville if you can, Candace, and
You're gonna have to do something because
we'll
I
work
just
out a day. I mean, Chris can come too. I'm not saying there's no guys allowed or
we'll
anything.
leave him behind.
I think he'd be mad at us if we did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to go to one of the big theaters and watch it. Maybe come up where you live and stuff like that and watch it, and then watch it again with the kids
Mhm.
closer to home.
So
Uh,
we have a Cinemark. We have Cinemarks here,
I
and
think that's the one that's got the really cool popcorn buckets.
then
Uh,
Regal. I think the Regal one is over in New Albany, just over the river from us.
They're really neat, Dana. Um, I think I think Cinemark might be the ones that have the really cool ones. I don't know. You just have to look them up because they're
I'm gonna. I'll take a look a little bit later and.
they've got they have okay. Regal has a popcorn bucket just like a regular one, and it's got like the I always just see it's like the paper, that they find, and it's got got him on it carrying
Yeah.
the little beetle carrying the hammer. But they got a shrunken head drink. It's the shrunken head with a straw in it.
Oh,
So we they got a blanket. Uh, I think this is going to be pretty cool. I really do. I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to go in there.
Chris says Regal is the one getting all the cool Beetlejuice
Yeah, I
stuff. Now
see.
we could go to Regal, Candace, because like I said, it's just over the bridge from Louisville and New Albany.
Okay. No, the Tombstone one is that. Are they getting the Tombstone one, Chris? I think they are. That's the one I really want. Is the Tombstone one. Yeah, it is. Okay, so they're the ones that's getting the like the Tombstone, like the Here Lies Beetle guys Tombstone. But I'm gonna go into this movie with an open mind, knowing that it's not going to be my Beetlejuice. It's gonna be it's gonna be different. It's not gonna
Right.
be 1980 eight. Is that when it came out?
It's gonna be Beetlejuice for a new generation, I
Mm-hmm.
think. But
Yeah.
I think we're gonna like it too. I think us old school fans are gonna
Oh
enjoy.
yeah. I think we're gonna like it. So I'm getting really excited.
But speaking of blankets and stuff like that, I was able to score a night marathon survival kit from Fright Rags
Oh
this
yeah,
morning
yeah.
at 10. They sold out within an hour.
You're gonna have to whenever you get it, you're gonna have to open it up and show everybody.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing either a pre-recorded video or I might just get a bee in my bonnet and want to do a live stream and just uh, and it's supposed to be coming the week of the 23rd because they're trying to make sure everybody
Yeah.
gets them before the marathon. And Steve told me beforehand, he said, Dan, they only got 500 of them. And if everybody can have at least two, he said, people's going to be getting on there and getting one for them and one to flip
Oh
on
yeah,
eBay.
definitely.
And I said, I know, but I'm going to get on there right at 10. And they didn't sell out for a little bit, but within that hour, they
Yeah.
sold out.
Now Dana can snuggle up with Joe Bob.
Yep. You get this throw, and it's even got Ernie on it. The throw got
Oh, well,
Ernie.
that makes it even better.
I think it's might be the same design that's on my last drive-in lounge pants because I've got
Yeah.
some last drive-in lounge pants as well. I might wear those that night just to.
She's just gonna be Joe Bobbed out, just have your Joe Bob shirt, Joe Bob
Steve
pants.
just shakes his head. He said, that's $75, right? And I said, yeah, I know it is.
But it comes with what does it come? It comes with a blanket. I do
You get
know.
you get the throw, you get some Joe Bob microwave popcorn, you get two Joe Bob popcorn, not popcorn buckets, but
Yeah.
popcorn containers to put your popcorn in. And
Yeah.
then you get mutant mud, which is coffee
Really?
to keep you awake. And I said, I'm staying up for the whole entire marathon. And Steve said, you think that's a good idea, Dana? I said, I don't care if it's a good idea or not. I'm doing that.
Are you
And
gonna eat like the popcorn and the coffee, or are you gonna keep it for collectors?
I think I'm gonna eat it, but what I'm gonna do I'm gonna keep all the
Keep
packaging.
the
I'm not gonna
containers
I'm
and
not
stuff.
gonna
Yeah.
throw that away. And the containers for the popcorn, so I don't mess them up. Steve said, "Well, you could get a plastic bag or something and put
Yeah.
in there and put the popcorn in it, and that way the grease or butter or whatever won't
Yeah.
get on it." Uh, Chris said he missed out on that bundle. Well, I tell you what, Chris, and I'm not being snarky about this. You can live vicariously through me. You can, I'll take, pictures of myself the night of the marathon.
I didn't know nothing about it.
Well, I got an email and I also got a text because, you know me, I've got to be plugged into these places like Fright Rags all the time. And they let me know, and I was like, Steve, there's a night marathon survival kit. I said,
They went wild. I gotta get my job on.
I said, I wonder what kind of movies they'll play. And Steve said,
Yeah.
maybe Nightmare on Elm Street movies because it's called a
You
night
think
marathon.
so?
I
That'd be
would
cool.
love it if they did that all night long with
So
Nightmare
they
on
get the rights, you think, to that?
Steve said that they have the rights to New Nightmare, but I don't know if they have the rights to the other ones or not.
It's just according if they can get it, but that would be cool if they would even if they just play New Nightmare, it would be cool.
It would be awesome if they could get, however long this. I mean, it's going to
Like
go
a temporary
on.
license or something like that to just play them all. That'd be really cool, I think.
That would make sense because it's the 40th anniversary of A Nightmare on
It
Elm Street.
would, yeah. Maybe that's the reason why they're doing it. Is this the first time they've done this?
The only other time they did a marathon was when Last Drive-In first started, and people thought at that time, I think Joe Bob knew they were going to continue. I think him and Darcy probably knew they were going to continue, but it was, advertised as this is the last drive-in.
Yeah.
We're not gonna. And Joe Bob laid his cowboy hat in his chair and kind of walked off the stage. But I was like, nah. There's gonna. This was so dang popular.
Yeah.
They broke
Whenever
the
it came back
internet.
on, it was very, very popular. I think people would have probably just kept on about it if they didn't come back. So,
but I think me and Candice will talk. We've already went over the hour time slot, which I knew would happen but I think we'll talk about. I'll talk about one more, and Candice can talk about one more, and then we'll call it a night. Hey, Steve Mayers. He says, greetings, ladies and flick fiends. That's Steve's. Not Steve, my husband, but another Steve. That's his greeting when he comes in. So I'm glad that Steve joined us. A second Steve joined us. I ain't heard from my husband in a little bit, so he's probably thinking how he can kill me. He's like, you got 2 headsets already, and you're getting a third one. Well, I'm going to be getting rid of one of them at least because there's no sense in me having 3, But I'm really excited about getting that MetaQuest 3.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is going to be incredible. And there is, did you guys see that? This probably wouldn't be interesting to Noah and Raiden, but they have where you can do VR Excel and VR PowerPoint and stuff, and it's free. I was looking at some games and the apps.
No, I didn't know that you could do that kind of stuff. I mean, you can do anything on those. Anything. I mean, there's so much. I think you could do like yoga and exercise and act like you're
meditation.
Yeah. Just a little bit of everything on there.
Yeah, there's another free thing I want to get that is like a meditation and stress reliever, relaxation, all that.
I wish I could. I would love to get on the VR and use it, but I just get so dang sick. That sucks. Maybe if I took motion sickness pills before getting on there, maybe that would work, and I could, get on there and use it, and it wouldn't bother me.
That might work.
Never thought of that. So,
but I guess I'll talk about. Let's see, which one do I want to talk about here? Well, let's just, and I can save some of these others for another time. I was starting to talk about American Werewolf in London, but I just did a watch along for that, and I talked about how incredible the makeup was
Yeah.
on that one. But Cronenberg's Fly remake,
Oh, I have to
and
agree.
the makeup on Jeff Goldblum,
Yes. All
that's,
throughout his transformation.
and it's almost realistic
Yeah.
enough to make you ill.
Yeah.
So if you are a person that gross stuff makes you queasy,
Oh,
this
yeah.
might not be the movie for you. You might want to
No.
stick with the 1950s version of the
With Vincent Price, yeah.
with the rubber head and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Guys, and if you read interviews with David Cronenberg, he talks about there was a lot more gross stuff in there before they took some of it out. And if you are, this hurts me to watch it. When the poor monkey explodes
Mm.
in the pod, and I was like, oh, I know a monkey really didn't die during
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
it was a little bit too
It was graphic,
for
wasn't
me.
it, Dana?
I was like, not the poor monkey. I always say you can kill as many people as you want
Yeah.
in a movie, but you start killing animals, and even if it's fake, it
Yeah.
just, it kills me. Um, so, I can even, this is awful, but I can even take the not realistic deaths of children. Like, I caught myself watching Alex, the Life of a Child again the other day, and that actress, I know I'm getting off topic, but that actress, Jenny James, who plays Alex DeFord after she gets older, that girl, I don't know what happened to that girl, but she was an incredible little actress. And I remember the first time I watched that when Alex dies, I just lost it,
Yeah.
because I could almost believe that little Jenny James was dying in this movie because she was that good in the movie. So that kind of stuff, it's hard for me to watch,
Yeah.
because I know it's based on a real little girl that this happened to. But if you watch Sleepaway Camp, like Sleepaway Camp 2, where, or that Diane, one of the counselors, that thinks that the boys, these teenage boys, are peering at the girls naked again, and Angela has killed them. And
Yeah.
she says, "Hey, you boys, what are y'all doing?" And she pulls them back away from the window, and they've been killed. That stuff doesn't bother me, as ghoulish as that might sound, but that doesn't bother me. Um, but animals, you simulate animal death, and that's something else entirely. But to get back to the fly, like, that is some of the most ghoulish
Yeah.
makeup.
Gross.
Yeah,
Gooey.
and gross, and and not only that, but when Gina Davis's character goes to see Seth,
Yeah.
played by Jeff Goldblum, and he's already, looks nasty.
Yeah.
Okay, he does not look like Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum
No.
is good looking at some
Yes.
points. He's not good looking once he starts turning into the fly. So,
No. That's what
uh,
I was gonna say because to me, Jeff Goldblum is just one of the most attractive men I've ever seen. And he doesn't become attractive whenever he starts turning that even in the
oh,
beginning when he looks all like wet looking stuff, you know what I'm talking about? He just starts looking weird and
yeah.
just he's like the gutter Jeff Goldblum or something.
He's like discount Jeff Goldblum.
He starts looking like he's got like some kind of like boils or something. He looks
Yeah,
weird.
he does not. No, he
Just
doesn't
goes
look
downhill from
well.
there.
No, it's bad. And my mom always said, even before he starts transforming, she said, he's too skinny and he looks weird and stuff. And I don't know if Jeff Goldblum lost weight or lost muscle mass for
He
that
could have.
movie because he's supposed to be a nerdy scientist type of guy.
Yeah.
And in other movies, Jeff Goldblum is buff in some movies.
Oh yeah.
Earth Girls Are
I was
Easy.
getting ready to mention that. Yeah.
You look at him and it's like,
Jurassic
oh,
Park.
Jurassic Park, the movie 9 Months with Hugh
Mhm.
Grant. He looks good in
He
that.
looks good always, I think. Even now as an older man, he's a very,
Yeah,
very attractive older man.
yeah. I wouldn't turn him down for a date.
No. Not at all.
And I can safely say that because Jeff Goldblum was never going to ask to take me out.
He was always one of my crushes.
Mm. The same way with Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey is never going to
Dana's
come.
into Matthew McConaughey. Hey, he's good looking too. I like Matthew McConaughey.
And I love that Texas drawl on him. I'm like, ooh, man.
She
Come
likes
on
that
over to
Southern
my
drawl.
house, Matthew McConaughey. Make yourself right at home. Steve would kill me for saying
Well, even Joe Bob. Back when I was a kid,
Joe
I used to have a
Bob.
crush on Joe Bob.
Yeah,
I'd watch Monster
especially
Vision and stuff.
younger Joe Bob. Like
Yeah.
even now, my heart beats a little bit faster. If
Yeah.
I watch him on those old drive-in theater things from the movie channel,
Yeah.
holy cow!
Nice and tall. He's very tall.
Very tall guy.
Especially in person. He's a big guy. I mean, really big guy. All right, Dana, we're getting off the.
I could talk about Joe Bob all night.
We're getting off the.
Oh,
Shoot.
but anyway, the scene I'm talking about, Jeff Goldblum does not look hunky like
No.
in other movies.
He looks chunky in a bad way.
But he wants Gina Davis's character to film him.
Yeah.
He does the whole thing. This is how Brundlefly eats. And I tell you, the first time I watched this, I was not expecting this.
No.
And he gets out the donut and he just vomits on it. And I'm not going to go into complete detail because it might make people sick. But if you want to see it, watch The Fly.
Oh yeah, I've seen it plenty of times, and it's.
And he's still got the junk hanging out of his mouth, and he's like, and Gina Davis is like, she's like horrified.
I don't even know how they as actors did that without getting sick. I would be like, ugh.
I don't know. It's always not intrigued me, but I just wonder about it. Scenes where they show somebody throwing up or something like that. It's it's nasty. But there's scenes before that where his fingernails start falling off, his teeth start falling out, and at first he's like, "Am I dying? Do I have some kind of disease?" And then he starts messing around with the computer that's attached to these pods that transformed him from one pod to the other. He finds out that the system became confused and meshed his DNA with the housefly's DNA. Yeah. And that's what's happened to him. That he is literally becoming, as he calls it, Brundlefly. He's becoming a cross between Seth Brundle, the scientist, and the common housefly.
Yeah.
Which then when he actually completely transforms and becomes the creature, it almost hurts me to watch this because there's just enough of Seth's brain left in this creature, and he takes the gun and puts it up to his head, and it's just like, he almost seems like a dog there because he's making these noises, and she's like, I can't, you know. And then she looks up at him and she sees the creature. She doesn't see Seth anymore, and then she's
Yeah.
able to do that. Um, but the one of the other scenes I want to talk about has nothing to do really with Seth,
Yeah.
his character, is the nightmare sequence when she finds out that she is pregnant with
Yeah.
Seth's baby, and she has the nightmare that she gives birth to a giant
Big
maggot.
fly.
And I
Yeah.
am not kidding you.
Yeah,
It's
it is. It's
they're
gross.
holding it and I know it's an animatronic something or other, but it's nasty looking. I don't even want to see, a regular maggot, let alone
No, Lord, no. No,
because maggots are nasty.
they
They're just
are.
nasty. Um, Sorry, house flies, but what you start out as is no, I don't
Well, they're
like.
gross either way around, ain't they,
Uh,
Dana?
yes, they are. So just if you can tolerate it, I don't want people saying, Dana, I watched that remake of The Fly and it made me sick. Oh, I'm warning you. There are gross out scenes in this. Many,
Yeah,
many gross out scenes.
yeah.
And if that, me telling you about him vomiting on a Krispy Kreme donut, I don't know if it was a Krispy Kreme donut, but it
You'll
could have
never want
been.
donuts again, trust me. Watch that.
And I still eat donuts. I
Yeah,
still eat glazed donuts. Um, or you having a aversion to creepy crawlies of any kind, then you know, you might not want to partake of this movie.
no.
But if you can tolerate it, the makeup effects are amazing. They're
Yeah,
gross, but they're amazing too. And Cronenberg is known for a lot of his movies being quote unquote gross,
yeah,
because he deals with body horror. The only movie that didn't deal solely in body horror was The Dead Zone that he did, and that race car Fast Company that
mm,
he did early in his career. Which Fast Company is a great movie. Dead Zone's a great movie, but they're not really what I would call body horror per
yeah.
se. Fast Company definitely not. And I guess maybe the Dead Zone a little bit,
Mhm.
but not a lot. But that's my tale of woe with the Fly remake. But I'm gonna turn it back over to Candace so she can talk about her final one of the.
Well, I really, if I go on about, we'll be here all day. Just like some honorable mentions, I don't think we've talked about. And if we ever do another one of these, we will probably, we'll talk about these characters in depth and stuff. But I don't think we talked about, Leatherface.
No, I had him on my list though.
We'll
Yep.
talk about him next time. Great mask, great, classic, definitely classic. Scream,
Yeah.
Ghostface. Just a bunch. We could still do another one of these. Maybe not our next one, but just whatever Dana decides she wants to maybe do for our
Well,
next one. But
let's
we'll
see.
definitely do another one of these, like the whole vinyl thing. We'll do one of those down the road too.
With
Um,
Candace, I actually had some things written down. I had Universal Monster Special for October.
yes,
Um, but we had also mentioned Hammer horror and Gothic
yeah,
horror. That could be
yeah.
something that we could talk about next
We
time.
can if you want to do that. That'd be fine. That'd be more than fine. I'd love that.
I would too, because it'd give me as if I need an excuse, but to go back and watch some of that old Hammer horror,
Oh
Gothic
yeah.
horror.
Oh well, yeah. I want to see if what I'll do is I'll see if my brother wants to go because he loves that kind of stuff too. See if he wants to do like a marathon with me and Chris. Which today's his birthday. Happy birthday, CJ! If you're watching
Yeah,
this, I hope
happy
you have a
birthday,
wonderful
CJ.
birthday. But this is Friday Foolish. I just want to show you my pickles.
Oh yeah,
So I love these pickles. These Van
I
Houten
need to
pickles.
try these.
So I try every one of them. I love them. I love the Sarah pickle. That's one of my favorites. And they have
That's
like
the
the
one I
warhead
think I
one.
like. Ooh, Warhead.
They have the warhead ones that taste like warheads, and those are really really sour. They have the deal, which probably deal is probably my favorite. Then they have like the Big Papa and all the other stuff like that. But I found a new one that I've never tried before,
Uh-huh.
so I was excited about that. And it's the Tapatio. If you like Tapatio hot sauce, and
Ooh.
it's the salsa picante Tapatio flavored pickle. So I like Tapatio hot sauce.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna try that one. So that's a new
Oh,
one I've not tried.
I'm gonna surprise Candace here. I'm not gonna take myself out of the stream. I'm just gonna walk in the kitchen. I'm gonna bring something back.
Okay. Wonder what she's gonna bring. Do you guys like pickles? If you do, have you ever tried these Van Houten pickles? They're probably some of my favorite. I make this shaved ice where I put pickles and sour apple
Ooh, that
syrup in
actually
it,
sounds good, Candace.
and I put
Where did you
chamoy
get
on it and
where do
tahine.
you get those?
What?
The Van
Van
Houten
Houtens?
pickles.
You can get them from Walmart. You can get them
Okay.
from. I got those from Save a Lot. I don't know if you have a Save a Lot around where you're from or not, but
I think we may have one. I'm gonna see if
Five
I don't
Below
know.
has them.
Five Below has them
Yeah,
too.
those are my favorite. I grew up eating the Van Houten pickles, and I don't. They're really, really good.
They got me hungry, but Candace is gonna be so happy because look what I got today.
Yay! Did you finally find them?
I was able to get them from Meyer today. They actually had them
Oh,
in
so
stock
have
at
you tried them yet?
not yet, but while we're on camera, why don't I just do that?
Yes.
Because I know I like anything ranch.
I know Abby said that she was trying to look for her some. I wonder. I'm gonna need to write her and ask her if she ever got her ranch ones like that because she was wanting to try them too. What do you
These are
think?
good. These are good.
Good, ain't they? It's like
Mhm.
really good ranch flavor, ain't it?
Oh my lord. I'll be eating these all night. I'll have the whole
Yeah.
because they're not very big bags, folks.
No, no. Those are good, aren't they, Dana?
Yeah.
They're dangerously good because you want to eat the whole bag. It's hard to stop.
I got these and I got some from Kroger. I got some cheddar and sour cream chips.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Those
like
are
those
good too.
too. But yeah, I wanted to show you my pickles because I mean, not the one I've eaten sour pickle before, but the Tapatio brand, and it's a smaller one too. It's a smaller pickle inside. Usually they're real big, but and they're really good. But um, I'm just wondering if it's going to be too hot for me. It can't take a lot of heat, so I'm hoping it's not real hot.
I'm curious to know how you like that one because I mean
Yeah.
it sounds good to me.
Well, I just had that salad, so I'd take a bite of it, but I'm afraid my blood pressure go too much sodium. So if I eat it, I'll let you know
Okay.
what I think of it. So I might go back and get another one if I like it.
Well,
Probably
yeah,
like $1 something, like $1.29 or something
that's
like
not
that.
bad.
Yeah, now if you get them at Five Below, they're like $3 a piece, but they're really good pickles. If you like pickles and want something nice, like a little snack or something, if you're just wanting a snack around, they're really good.
So, anything else you want to bring up, Candace, before
Mm,
we tie it up?
no, just me and Dana has some stuff coming up that we're planning, and um, don't give up on us. We got some stuff around the corner. You just have to be patient with us, and got some cool stuff coming up, don't we, Dana? We've been
Oh, yeah.
talking about.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to be continuing my countdown to Horror Hound Weekend.
Yeah.
I talked about the guests um, last Sunday,
Mhm.
and I'm going to be talking about another facet of Horror Hound Weekend coming up this Sunday. At some point in time, I'll pre record it. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish up uh, the 5 days or 5 days in Milan. Um, and that's going to be my Terror Time tea. I'm going to be talking about that one for those of you that are still in here. I'll be talking about that one. And Do You Like Hitchcock?
Mhm.
Which are two probably little known Argento films because this is Argento August. And I'm trying to have a lot of Argento type of programming.
Mhm.
I did the first edition of Argento Sweet Argento. For those of you that didn't catch that, that was a pre recorded. People probably said, well, where's Everybody Wants England? That's what you do on Tuesdays. Well, I'm going to go back to that after August. So, got some watch alongs in the works after August is over. If you are a Kevin Bacon fan or you're a Footloose fan, I've got a watch along coming up where Footloose is going to be one of the Kevin Bacon movies, and Stir of
Ooh.
Echoes is
Ooh,
going to
I
be the
like
other
that
one.
one. I really like Strawberry Echoes.
And I know before anybody says anything, I did do a Stir of Echoes, but nothing says we can't do a rewind. I didn't have Candice on that one, so maybe I can have her on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I like that, and I know Chris likes that one as well.
How do you feel about Footloose, Candice?
Not my style.
Not your.
My mom loves Footloose. She always liked it, but it's not really something that I care about, very much. But it's not a bad film. Chris actually watched it not long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. He likes it.
Mm-hmm. But if Candace changes her mind, wants to hop on there just so she can talk about how silly they are on there.
Yeah, I don't know. My mom always watched it. She liked it. Like I said, I think Chris likes it.
You
It's
think
just
you
not.
could get your mom on here live, Candace? That would
Hey,
be fun.
yeah, my mom, she'd be like, hey, I know. I don't think she'd do it. She'd be too shy to do that, I'd say.
Tell uh, tell her that Dana says that she wants her to come on there
Tell
for
her.
the Footloose
I'll tell
watch.
you what she says.
Okay.
She'll be like, "Oh, no, not me." Maybe if you had Purple Rain, maybe she'd come on there if you had that. That she'd hop on there for Purple Rain. I'd say. She
I
loves
might do
Prince.
Purple Rain sometime. I don't own a copy of Purple Rain. Isn't that
Really?
blasphemous that I don't
Really?
own a copy of
My
it?
mom loves Prince. She had the chance to go see Prince on his big tour back whenever Purple Rain was just out, and it was like where he was doing Purple Rain on tour,
Mm-hmm.
and she missed out on the chance of going, and she
Oh,
still talks about the regret of not getting to see Prince during the Purple Rain era.
that would have
Um,
been an amazing time to see Prince.
the people that did go that she's supposed to went with said that he crawled out of a bathtub. So I don't know.
I've never told my Prince story. Well, it wasn't about meeting Prince because I never met Prince. I never went to a Prince concert. But my story about Prince is when I was a kid, I went to, this is so funny. Even now. I went to a church lock-in. I don't know how many of y'all have went to a church lock-in, but I went to a church lock-in and I believe it was all girls.
Yeah.
And, we did the typical stuff. If you fell asleep first, uh, they would freeze your bra because one older girl fell asleep first, and they didn't take the bra off of her, but she had a bra in her stuff, her
Yeah.
sleepover stuff, and they ran water over it and put it in the freezer.
Oh my
They
gosh.
warned everybody. I remember this clearly, and so I believe that this was the same church lock-in where a girl I know, we reconnected because she lives in Louisville, works in Louisville, of course. Nakaya, my friend Nakaya, and I remember her talking about this, and I kind of, I vaguely remember us playing music and stuff. But she tells the story about she brought a Prince record to a church lock-in. And one of the songs on this record was Darling Nikki. And anybody that knows anything about that song, you know what that song's about. And she says she clearly remembers it starting to play, that song. And an adult said, "Oh, no. just took the arm off the record and, put it back in the sleeve,
Yeah.
but I just always found it so hilarious. We did other stuff that we weren't supposed to do at that church lock-in that would probably be considered disrespectful. We were running through the cemetery at the church, playing hide and seek. And we were old enough to know better. We shouldn't have done that, but we did. And I'll tell y'all on here that I did things that, I shouldn't have been doing. That was disrespectful to not only the people that had passed away, but the families of the people that had passed away. But when you're kids, sometimes you
Yeah.
do things that as an adult, you look back on that and you think,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
maybe I shouldn't have done
understand whenever you're that young either, that what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing. Now, sometimes you do and you just ignore it. But,
But how many people can say that they almost listened to Darling Nikki at a church lock-in?
Oh my goodness.
But that's my
I have to tell my mom about that one now, Diane.
Yeah, she'll find that entertaining, I'm
She'll be
sure.
like, "Oh my goodness." Oh,
But anyway, we will be on here for 2 hours if I don't quit telling stories. But I actually felt, I'm doing like Chris. I'm actually feeling a little bit better
good.
once we got on here and started, getting into this and telling stories and I don't mean telling stories like telling lies. I just mean like we're telling stories about when we were kids.
Yeah.
Um,
About our
but
kid childhood.
but I hope you guys and gals have enjoyed this. And if you didn't get to watch it now while it's live, then you can always watch it on the replay. Nothing says that, nobody's going to come slap your hand with a ruler if you don't get to watch it live and you say, well, I'm going to go watch it on the replay. Me and Candice aren't going to come to your house and say,
No.
nope, you can't do that.
We
So
may, but we'll let you be surprised about that one.
please watch it on the replay if
Yeah.
you did not get a chance to either watch it at all or you only got to watch part of it. Because this has been a fun one. I've had a good time, and
Yeah.
so hopefully I'll be able to finish watching the 5 days and be able to do a Terror Time Tea pre-recorded a little bit later. So
Yeah.
keep your eyeballs out for that. And I also want to thank Candace for being on here with me for another Friday
Thank
Foolish.
you.
Uh, I think both of us weren't feeling at the top of our game, but we still got on here and I feel like we put on a good show.
I think so too. And like Dana said, we're going to be talking about Hammer horror and Gothic horror next Friday Foolish.
Mm.
Hey, over the week, go have you a marathon of Gothic horror, Hammer horror. Talk with us, interact with us in the chat. Hey, hop on here if you want to. All Dana asks is to just behave yourself and be respectful. Hop on here and talk about it with us. Discuss it with us. If you don't feel like doing that, just hop in the chat. Bring
Yeah.
up some of your favorite films that you've watched or how your marathon went. So
I might
that
get
way,
Steve in on a
yeah.
marathon because he likes that stuff too.
Yeah, any kind of interaction from the chat that really helps me and Dana flow through these Friday Foolish streams and stuff because we want to talk about stuff that people are interested in and we're all just one big family, especially here on Friday Foolish. And Dana has always got her doors open for people. She's very, very friendly in that area because she wants people to feel like they're at home here
Yeah.
on her channel. She's one of the most friendliest YouTubers that you'll ever meet. And she cares about the people who are watching her streams.
Yeah.
So, if you feel like getting involved, if you don't want to come on camera or anything like that, hop in the chat if you feel like it. And I know some people don't, they're not comfortable with that, but Dana don't bite. And
No,
she's
no,
very,
I
very
never.
open.
I'm past my biting days. I used to
Yeah.
bite like my cousin Heather when we were kids,
Yeah.
but I don't bite anymore.
No, but don't be afraid to get on here and chat. Introduce yourself. We love seeing new people. When I'm here on Friday Foolish with Dana, I love seeing new people. Even whenever I'm not and I'm just watching Dana, I see somebody new on there. Like, yay, Dana's got somebody new on there. So join in on the fun, I guess.
And if you have friends or family members that you think would be interested
Yes.
in the stuff that I'm doing, and just mention it to in fact, here I'm promoting myself here. Um, I will put the YouTube channel in the chat here for anybody that wants to share that.
Yeah, share it around. We had a great crowd for the Clockwork Orange
That was
watch
that blew
along.
my mind.
That was amazing.
Me and Candice were going back and forth talking to each other. Oh my gosh, the numbers just kept going up and
Yeah,
up and up until they leveled off at 13. I think it was 1,300 was
yeah. That
where
was a pleasant surprise for both Dana and I. We were both really surprised, and we've seen a lot of new faces come from that stream. So help us bring in some more new faces. Hey, share the channel. We're always welcoming new people. I know, Dana always welcomes new people as long as you are respectful to others and get along with people. And she's not saying how you guys can't have a difference of opinions or anything. Just be
right.
respectful to one another and stuff.
That's what we do the apples and oranges for, like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people can respectfully have
Say,
a good debate
yeah,
on different things. And I know, guys and gals, but I'm not going to talk much longer, but I know there's a lot of negativity associated with the internet, just in
yeah,
general. And I'm not just saying just YouTube or just Facebook. I'm saying as a whole, there's a
yeah,
lot of negativity on the internet. And I want to spread positivity instead of negativity. And people may laugh, people may make fun of me, but this is the way I really feel about it. We need more positivity, um, not only in our day to day lives, but how we conduct ourselves on the internet.
yeah.
And I think that the more positive energy we can have, the better all of these outlets are going to be. Facebook, YouTube, um, uh, any of the other Instagram, any outlet, social media outlet that you use, or if you use a combination of them, um, positivity is going to go a long way towards making everybody feel good
Yeah.
in the end. So that's what I want to project. I've been, I've had my share of like spreading negativity, and I don't want to do that anymore.
No.
That's something that even the best people have
Yeah.
gotten caught up in. So I want to be positive, and just like the it just doesn't matter stream that I did not very long ago. The first one of those, I actually created a logo, and I'm going to put it on a shirt. I just haven't gotten it on the shirt yet, where it actually says empowerment and positivity on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you can be empowered and you can still be positive.
Mhm.
But I'm going to quit blabbing now, and we're going to tie this up.
Yeah.
Now that I've made everybody feel like that, you guys
Before
should
you do
stop
that, before you do that, Dana, I want to
that.
tell everybody if you like what you see, go give Dana a subscribe. Go subscribe to her channel. If you're not already, hit the thumbs up. If you like what you see, Dana has a huge catalog of anything you can basically think of. On her channel. You can find something that you like on there. I know you do. That you can anybody because she just talks about an array of different things. Not just horror. not
Mhm.
just horror movies and stuff like that. So if you like what you see, give her a subscribe, give her a thumbs up. You're really helping her out when you do that. So I just want to say that before we
Mm.
we
And it's free to do that, folks.
free.
Some
Yeah,
people think, well, do I have to join? No, you don't have to join.
no,
If you want to and you can,
yeah,
that is fine, but that is not a prerequisite to
yeah.
come in to these
And
streams.
she's got a Patreon. She's if you did want to join, and help her out, help out her channel and help it grow. I mean, you're helping it grow by giving it a like, by
Yeah,
subscribing. But if you want more than that and want to support it more, she's got a Patreon. She's got a Discord. A lot of stuff. I mean, it's always she's really active on her channel. Here I am promoting you, Dana,
I know. I appreciate it.
but I do
I'm
it
very humbled by it too.
because I'm really proud of her because I love her stuff. She's a friend, but even if she wasn't my friend, if she was just somebody I just seen, just had scrolled and I was like, oh, I like this chick. I would like her stuff. And that's why I want to tell people about it is because I think she's awesome. I love watching her. Because Dana is a genuine person with, and she just cool. So let's get the word out about Evil Dead Chick because
And, and keep in mind too, I get to 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna do the
yeah.
cosplay. I'm gonna do Cheryl from the Evil Dead, and it's y'all's pick whether I do regular Cheryl, pre-Deadite Cheryl, or Deadite Cheryl.
And we want to see it.
And Candice is gonna be Mrs. Roper. And if we
Yeah,
can get Chris
yeah.
on it, what was the last thing we said we were gonna have Chris be?
Maybe Jack Tripper or Mr. Roper or what is his name? Furley,
Mr.
Early,
Farley.
Mr. Fur, Don Knotts. No, I remember what it was. Chrissy
What
Snow.
yeah. So if y'all want to, we'll work on Chris. If Chris is still in
Yeah.
here, he's probably thinking, "Good
Could
Lord, what are
imagine
y'all
him with the
doing?"
beard and the little like the pigtails, like the blonde pigtails.
You know what we need to get? Remember that episode where Chrissy bought they'd gotten all that money and Chrissy bought a gigantic stuffed giraffe, and
Yeah,
Jack
yeah,
was making fun of it because they had to go to therapy or something, and they.
yeah, yeah.
But
We'll
I
have to
wish
get
we
one
had a
one.
stuffed giraffe with a big bow on it.
We may have to get one if we do it. Oh goodness.
But I could talk forever and ever because I've got a big mouth. But um, anyway, we're gonna tie this up with a nice, neat little bow. We're gonna try to, but be sure to tune in for all the upcoming programming and in uh, another week. Um, I'll be doing a couple of Argento watch alongs, and we're going to have Deep Red and Tenebrae. And then I think the last weekend of the month is going to be Phenomena and Suspiria. So we're going to do the big ones, guys and gals. So, and I know Candace wants to be on with me if at all
Yeah,
possible for Phenomena.
phenomenal. Yeah,
And she can be on here with me for some of the others too. I'm not saying I don't want her on there for every one of them, but or Chris, or if there's some of you other guys and gals, like Candace said, as long as you can behave on these things and not cause fights with people or be off color in some
yeah,
way, then you are welcome to come on here and be on camera, or just audio only. I don't
yeah,
make people if you feel comfortable talking, but not comfortable being on camera, or you don't have a webcam,
yeah.
you could still be on here and you could still talk about the movie. But before I blab on anymore, y'all might not see me anymore because, like I said, Steve might kill me when he finds out that I'm getting that MetaQuest 3. He already thinks his wife is crazy.
Right
So,
here, I found Raiden's. It's right here.
yeah.
So that's it.
Isn't that cool?
Could be Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, you could be. But I don't like that movie.
I
But
don't either.
that is the worst adaptation. One of the worst adaptations of a Stephen King
I
story.
remember seeing it as a really little kid. I mean, really little kid. I mean, that had to come out like 90 or something like that because I was young. And I remember thinking as a little kid, this is the stupidest movie I've ever seen. It just seems so stupid. I don't know. I mean, some people might like it,
I
you
think
know.
Stephen King may have sued to get his name off of there.
It was, I remember it was bad. I'm gonna see when that came out. Because I mean, I never
He
forgot
didn't
that.
even do that for Kubrick's version of The Shining. He didn't say, I want to take my name off there as the person that wrote the book. But
92. So it had to be right whenever it came out. And I was like, this movie is whack.
I remember I
Even as a kid.
rented it because I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I was like, what in the world?
I believe it was new whenever I watched it because I mean, I don't know. I was thinking just as a little kid, this just looks weird. And I think my mom or somebody was watching it too, and I think they was thinking the same thing that it was
I
really.
can imagine your mom watching that. Being like, I talked to my mom yesterday and I started talking about Clockwork Orange and how popular that watch
Yeah.
along was. And mom said, I don't know what that movie is. I said, ask dad what that movie is.
Uh-oh.
And he said, yeah, I heard him off, in a little bit in the distance. Yeah, that's the stupidest movie ever. And he said, yeah, I remember that movie. It was
Well,
stupid, he said.
it's better than Lawnmower Man. And I say that as a joke. I love Clockwork Orange. It's one of my favorite movies. So
Yeah. I
I
love
don't think I'm
Clockwork
slighting
Orange
it.
too. But all I had to do was tell mom, mention Clockwork Orange to dad and see what he says about it. But anyway, we're really going to get off here, folks. But y'all be sure to tune in for all the upcoming programming. And so me and Candice are off like two dirty shirts. And not literally, but metaphorically speaking. And we're not going to take our shirts off either. So we don't do that on here. Um, so we're off like two dirty shirts, but I want to remind everybody, as I always do before we get off of here for the day or night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. The weekend is upon us. And it's going to feel like fall, folks. It's going to
Ooh, I
be
hope
in the
so.
at least around here. It's going to be in the 50s at night.
Oh, I hope it gets down here because it was muggy today.
It was kind of muggy here too, but
I'm
I'm
ready
just
for that fall weather. That's my favorite.
oh yeah, I know what's going to happen though. We're going to get a taste of it, but we're still in August,
Yeah,
folks. It's going to heat back up, and then we're going
that's
to be like, oh,
yeah.
But
From the end of September, he'll start hitting us all the time. I say.
hopefully,
I hope
it's not like some of the scientists have been saying that autumn is going to be like a second summer. I'm like, don't, no, no, don't
Oh,
tell me that.
don't even mention that.
Yeah. But I'm hoping and praying that they're wrong on
Yeah.
that. But anyway, we're off of here. But we'll see everybody next time. So bye, folks, and y'all have a great rest of your Friday.
See ya.